Hello friends, I know you are facing a problem with your run button. Probably it's not working properly. I have fixed on that time but forget to mention in the previous video of my Python series. Unfortunately, I made a silly mistake in the previous video. The mistake was happened to this script path. This script path should be your Python file that is created inside your project and you currently work on this file. First of all, clear the script path. In my case, I have to navigate my current Python file by clicking on this file icon. You also click on that file icon to navigate your Python file. Like this. I have navigate and add the location of my python series.py file. Then click on apply and then OK. That's it. After that, your run button will start working. Okay, now let's talk about Python data types. Now the question arises, why data types are so important in any programming languages? Data types are used to store a particular type of data in programming. Using the right data type is important because each type of data has its own rules and operations. You know what? When you will work on a project, you will do many operations, and if you will not process the data in that specific format, you may face error, or you can say it bugs. So you have to take care of these things. So without further delay, let's get started. Hello friends, this is AK and you are watching Stack Bounty YouTube channel. In the previous video of this series, I said how to store a value inside a variable. So variables can store different types of data. Python has built-in data types by default, such as text type, numeric types, sequence types, mapping type, set types, boolean type, binary type, none type. In text type, we have string, that is also known as str. In numeric types, there are three different types of data type we have: int, float, complex. In sequence types, there are also three different types of data type we have: list, tuple, and range. In mapping type, we have dict, known as dictionary. In set types, we have two types of data type: set, frozen set. In boolean type, we have bool, known as boolean. In binary types, there are three different types of data type we have: bytes, byte array, memory view. In none type, we have none, that is also known as null in some other languages. Now it's time to implement those things in our code to better understand. First of all, let's create a variable here, x, and assign Robert to in this variable x. Remember, when you write a string, use single or double quote. Now print the name. As we know, to print something on the output screen, we have a special kind of function. So type print and type the variable name between these round brackets, like this. Now, if I click on the run button, it will print Robert as output. Here, Robert is a string. You know, it makes sense to ask, how do you know if it is a string or anything else? Well, we have a special kind of function, that is type function. This function will return the type of the data we have. Simply type here print. Now why I am typing print here? Because I want to print the type of the data. Then type, like this. Now we have to pass the data into this parenthesis. In our case, the data Robert stored in a variable. So instead of passing Robert, we have to pass the variable name, which is x in this case. Enter x into this parenthesis like this. Now if I click on the run button, see the output. It says class str. It means that is belongs to a str class. Now what is class? You know, class is another topic. We will discuss about class in the upcoming videos of this series. So this robot is string. Okay. As I said earlier, when we will write a string, we must have to use single and double quote. Now let's talk about int. Actually, it refers integers. Let me comment out all of these things. Create another variable like n. Now I am assigning 10 to this variable n. Here 10 is an integer. As we know, if we want to check the data type, we must have to use the type function and pass the variable name like this. One more thing here, as shown, I am not using single or double quote here because 10 is an integer. So if you are storing a number in a variable, then you don't require to use single or double quote. Now if I click on the run button, see the output. It says int. Actually our 10 is an integer. You may think why I have not done any operations with integers or strings yet. Actually I wanted to familiar with different type of data with you. After that all the operations might be very easy to you. Now let's talk about float. That refers actually floating point number. Like C equals 4.2. Print type of C like this. Now see the output. It says float, basically floating point number. Now let's talk about complex data type. You know, it's basically complex number. Now create a variable like if equals 5. See, in the other field, if we want to make a digit to a complex number, then we should have to add I after this digit, basically in mathematics. But in Python, we have to add j like this. Then print type of f. Now if I click on the run button, see, it shows that is a complex number. Now let's talk about list. What is list in Python? Actually, lists are used to store multiple items in a single variable. Let me create first. X equals square bracket Robert Lina Gia. To create a list, we use square brackets. See, there are 3 items in my list. Actually, there can be more than hundreds and thousands in this list. But just to make it simple, I only take 3 items. If you see the f variable, there have only 1 item. We can't add more than 1 item to this variable f. But in the list, we can add multiple value at a time. When we want to store multiple value in a variable, we have to use list. We will learn more about the features of list in the dedicated video of list. For now, I just want to print the list. So, type print x in the parenthesis. See, the whole list appears on the output screen. Now let's talk about tuple. Tuples are also used to store multiple value in a single variable. But there is a difference between list and tuple. Let me create the tuple first. Y equals John, Michael, Jennifer. To create tuple, we use round brackets. But when we talk about list, there we use square brackets. There are one more difference between list and tuple. We will learn the difference in the upcoming video. Okay. Now print the tuple. Print y. As shown, the whole items of the tuple have printed. If you want to check if it is a tuple or anything else, just print the type of the data type. Okay. Before going to the next topic, let me clear one thing. In our programming field, our indexing will start from 0. But in the real world, we actually count from 1. If you have not understand what is indexing, no problem. We will learn indexing in details in the upcoming videos. Now let's talk about a range. In Python, the range function that only works with integers or whole numbers. If I create variable like x equals to range 6, it will take the whole entire numbers up to 5. Now if I print x like this, as shown, it says range 0 to 6. We will learn range in details in the upcoming video of loops. Now let's talk about dict. This is also called dictionary. Let me create a dictionary first. We use curly bracket in dictionary like Z equals name Robert, age 24. Dictionary in Python is an unordered collection of data values used to store data values like a map, which like other data types that hold only a single value as an element like list, tuple, but dictionary holds key value pairs. In my case, I have two values with their keys in my dictionary. Wait. Do you have any idea why I am not using double quote around the 24? If you get that, then let me know in the comment section. See, 24 is an integer. In Python, we only use single or double quote. For strings, 24 is a number, so we don't use the double quote. Now, if I print Z, so type print Z and also type print type of Z. As shown, this is our dictionary and it says it's a dictionary. Now let's talk about set. First of all, let me create a set. To create a set, we use curly brackets. Let me create a set here like S equals Jennifer, Linda, John. In Python, sets are used to store multiple items in a single variable. A set is a collection which is unordered, unchangeable and unindexed, and set items should be unique. Duplicate items are not allowed in a set. If you have any problem to understand all those things, don't worry. We will discuss all those things in detail in the upcoming videos of this series. As shown, that is our set and it says this is a set. Now let's talk about frozen set. Let me create a frozen set like x equals frozen set Zia, Ankita. You know, when we create a frozen set, we need to use this keyword before our set items. Frozen set is just immutable version of a Python set object. While elements of a set can be modified at any time, elements of the frozen set remain the same after creation. Trust me, that is a frozen set. Let's print x and print type of x. As shown, these are our frozen set items. It says it belongs to frozen set class. Now let's talk about bool. You know, it's actually Boolean value. Bool is used to return true and false, like x equals true. Print x. Now print type of x. As shown, it says class bool. In Python, we will learn more about these things in the conditional statements. Now let's talk about bytes. It can convert objects into bytes object, like x equals to b hello. Here b refers to bytes. You know, if I print type as shown, it says class bytes. One more we have, that is byte array. It returns a byte array objects and also create empty byte array object of the specified size, like x equals byte array 4 inside the parenthesis. Print x. Now print type of x. As shown, our 4 appears in the form of byte array and it says class byte array. Now let's talk about memory view. The memory view function returns a memory view object from a specified object, like x equals memory view bytes 5 in the brackets. Print x. It prints none and says class none type. Actually, the none keyword is used to define a null value or no value at all. You might be thinking the none is same as 0 or false or empty string. The answer is no. You are absolutely wrong, my friend. See, none is a data type of its own and only none can be none. That's all about for today. Then see you on the next video. If this video is helpful to you, then give it a big thumbs up. If anyone new to this channel, then subscribe now to get all the upcoming videos of this Python series. Have a good time. Goodbye.